guys, welcome back to a new breakfast video, today featuring 4 simple yet delicious vegan recipes. As always, feel free to share your recreations over on Instagram, tag me in your stories or posts, it helps my channel a ton, and also I just love seeing what you guys make, so keep that coming. The following recipes are brought to you by none other than Squarespace. Idea number 1 is a variation on a super simple apple porridge, inspired by my friend Hannah. Shout out to her. First off, chop up 1 apple into smaller bite-sized pieces. Add them to a small saucepan along with apple juice, cinnamon, vanilla, and salt. Bring this up to a simmer. Then add about a half a cup of small cut oats and some non-dairy milk or water. Let this all cook on medium for 6 to 10 minutes, stirring every once in a while. And that's all you gotta do. Top it off with some vegan yogurt or nut butter or maple syrup, even though I find the apple juice is so sweet that you don't even need any sweetener in this. Recently, I've been really into making dips and spreads out of tofu, or whipped tofu as some people call it. I'm making all kinds of flavors. For instance, this pesto flavored one. Grab a food processor and add a block of firm plain tofu, lemon juice, store-bought vegan pesto. If you can't find this, add olive oil, nutritional yeast, dried herbs, and extra salt instead. And don't forget a few handfuls of fresh basil. Then blend until smooth. You'll probably have to scrape down the sides a few times. Taste test, adjust, anything if necessary. This makes definitely enough for 2 breakfasts, so you can just store the rest in a glass jar. You could, for example, serve this with toast, avocado, balsamic, glaze, sauce. So good. For idea number 3, we're making a wintry overnight oats smoothie. The night before, add the following things to your breakfast bowl: small cut oats, salt, flax or chia seeds, unsweetened cacao powder, almond butter, vegan yogurt, either orange, mandarin, or clementine zest, agave syrup, and a bit of non-dairy milk. Mix it up and put it in the fridge. The next morning, get your blender ready. Add 1 frozen banana, the overnight oats, and some non-dairy milk or water. Blend until smooth, and that's it. This next and last idea is the long-awaited pretzel recipe. Now, is this really something one can put in a video for simple breakfast ideas? In general, the pretzels are very easy to make and you need like 5 ingredients, I didn't count that. But any baking that has to do with yeast always comes with a bunch of waiting around. So I would recommend you make them in advance and freeze them. There's a few different ways you can do this, so I will have some detailed notes about that in the description. In a big mixing bowl, combine spelt flour and salt. For this recipe, I used a little less salt than your average German pretzel recipe would use. Bring some non-dairy milk to room temperature. Then pour that into a smaller second bowl. Add raw sugar, vegetable oil, and 1.5 teaspoons of dry active yeast. Let this sit for 10 minutes. Now would also be a good time to measure out the flour and the salt, but we already did that. Add the yeast mix to the dry ingredients. Mix it up with a spatula first until it's roughly combined, then switch to your hands. Work the dough for a few minutes until it looks something like this. Then put it back into the mixing bowl and place it somewhere warm for about an hour. Cut the dough into 4 somewhat equally sized pieces. You're gonna roll out each one into a long, thick string that should be about 50 centimeters long. Now to create the pretzel shape, take both ends, cross them over each other, as if you try to make a heart shape, but you go further. Does that make sense? Then twist the ends twice before pressing it down onto the lowest part of the pretzel. Don't know if I explained this well. I'm just gonna let this loop for a bit. Place the pretzels onto a baking sheet lined with parchment paper. You can also go in now and fix anything that needs to be fixed. Cover them and let them rise for another 30 minutes to an hour. Now's the time to preheat the oven to 180 degrees Celsius. Also make a quick water baking soda solution by combining both hot water and baking soda. After the rising has ended, generously brush the pretzels with the water baking soda mix. Now let them bake for 15 to 20 minutes. While they're still warm, you can brush them with a bit of vegan butter and sprinkle them with some cacao sugar or cinnamon sugar or some seeds to make this a little healthier. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and thanks to Squarespace for being awesome and supporting this video. Ever heard of Squarespace? They help you make websites. They have a big selection of award-winning, professional-looking templates to choose from, making this whole building a website process super easy and intuitive. Since it's an all-in-one platform, you don't need to stress about installs or patches or any of that ever. And if you have any more questions along the way, they have a 24/7 customer service to help you out. Create a new site today for your school project, your artwork, your sister's wedding, or whatever else you got going on. Click the link down below and get 10% off your first purchase using the code MINAROME. See you guys soon. Bye.
Cherry Coke, because I want you.